Hey everybody, so I get a lot of questions about what it means when I talk about stabilized wood or when it's on my website, bordertownblades.com. What it means when you're reading the description on one of the knives and it says stabilized. Well, what happens when I'm stabilizing wood is I take a chunk of wood, I put it into an oven, and it usually takes about 24 hours, sometimes longer. After 12 hours of being in an oven at 220 degrees, I start weighing the wood. And as I weigh it, I'm watching the weights go down, because that means once it stops losing weight, all of the moisture is gone. From that point, it goes into a vacuum chamber. It gets covered in cactus juice stabilizing resin, and then I turn on my vacuum pump. It could run anywhere from, 24 hours to 72 hours, who knows? I run it until the bubbles stop. So it's kind of like squeezing a sponge underwater. So once I pull all of the air out of the wood, we're going to then let it soak for twice as long as it ran. So if the vacuum pump ran for 24 hours, I turn off the vacuum pump, I bring it back to our atmosphere, and I will soak it then for 48 hours. So like the wood blocks I have in here have to soak until Saturday morning, and today's Thursday. So we've got another 48 hours of these soaking up resin before I can take them out and cure the resin again in the oven. So what happens is we take a piece of wood, like I've got one right here. This is fiddleback maple. It weighed 163 grams when it went into the oven. Then it was 147 grams when it was completely dry. All the moisture's out. Now, if I turn on the scale here and we put it on, it went from 147 to 299 grams. So the amount of weight this takes on is a lot. Here's a piece of fiddleback maple, same size, not stabilized, comes in at 171 grams. So what I'm doing is I'm adding a lot of weight to the handle material, but I'm also preventing it from swelling and shrinking. Now, the exciting part for me, on top of making a much better product, is I have all these colors. So I've got the stabilizing resin that's dyed all these funky colors. So like this is orange. Now, I can take a block of wood. These are getting ready to get cured for the second time. So this block went in emerald green, and then we went in it orange. So it's going to get cured again. Here's some that went in red. So I soaked the block in a bucket of red dye this way. I cured it, and then I soaked it in a block of orange this way, and I'll cure it again in a little bit. And my hands are turning funky colors. This is a pretty cool one. This was actually hot pink. It looks kind of red, but this is hot pink and electric blue. So you can see how it's kind of turning purple. Now, when this is all cured and sanded, it's going to look amazing. So this is going to go, doing these blocks here will end up being probably a week and a half process of heating them, just soaking them in dyes before I ever get to the vacuum process. And once I do the vacuum process, that'll be the last step in the procedure. And that's if you're multi-dyeing. And it allows us, I can do simple colors too, just straight emerald green. So it's a really long process, but it's a really important process. I think it makes for a fantastic product, especially when I'm using something like maple burl. Maple burl has no straight grain to it. So what we end up with is I go to drill a hole and the handle cracks. Or if it swells or shrinks, it's more likely to split in a very unfortunate way. And so I don't want that to happen. And I've made thousands of knives at this point using these materials after going through this process, and I don't have problems with swelling or shrinking or breaking because of that. So, take the steps, do the steps right, and you get an amazing product. And it allows me, when somebody says, hey, my son's favorite color is blue, can you make me a blue handle? And they're all unique, because no wood is going to take the dye the exact same way. and no burl's going to look the exact same way. So we can take something awesome and make it even more unique and awesome. It's just what I do. And I love this part of the process.